My name is Star Gali. I am Ajumawi band of Pit River. I currently work as the Tribal Historic Preservation Officer for the Pit River Tribe for the past 4 years. I have been working for our tribal government, and I've lived back in the Bernie Fall River area for the past 5 years. In March 2016, it was announced by the Rosenberg Foundation that I was one of 8 selected to receive a fellowship. The name of the fellowship is the Leading Edge Fund. The project award is $75,000 a year for 3 years, and this will go towards restoring justice for Indigenous peoples. This project will focus on a couple of main issues. One is researching the accurate data for Indigenous communities focused within federal and state institutions of incarceration. It will focus on a collective research engagement with incarcerated tribal members and their families that have been impacted. It's working with tribal nations, specifically their governments, on culturally appropriate methods of re-entry within tribal communities, and then reporting out as a whole of next steps and what justice means for Indigenous peoples. The justice focuses primarily on healing and on healing of the intergenerational trauma that Native peoples have faced and experienced, specifically in California over the past 168 years. There's a huge disparity of the overpopulation of Native peoples within the criminal justice system, and so although we represent under 1% of the population, we are over that 1% mark within the correctional institutions. It's a huge issue for Native youth that are being sentenced as adults, primarily on reservations, where if it was considered off-reservation, the sentences would be drastically reduced. Currently, there's a lack of culturally appropriate resources. Libraries are many times bare, with the focus of only Christian-based reading materials. The materials to be gathered for ceremonies to be held within the institutions have to be gathered on a volunteer basis. Many times it's the responsibility of the Native chaplains and the Native spiritual advisors. There's not budgets that are provided to them, and so there's always a challenge and many barriers that come with that, and the ability to pray for Native peoples on their own terms and in their own way.